everybody on YouTube, it's Michael here, and in the next 5 videos I will be showing you everything that is on the Yamaha DJX keyboard. Now, not only is this known as the Yamaha DJX, it is also known as the PSR-D1. Now, I've got this keyboard way back in December 2005, and it marked my 10th keyboard at the time. Now, the Yamaha DJX was released in 1998, and on this keyboard, Yamaha didn't have categories of styles such as pop, rock or ballad styles, country or jazz styles, etc. This keyboard has categories that is related to dance music. Categories such as techno, electro, house, drum and bass, rap, trance, and all sorts of other categories related to dance music. And it's the very first keyboard that I've got that has like categories of dance music. And I must say, it's a really great keyboard. I've really enjoyed playing it over the years and messing around with the dance styles and all sorts of different sounds, which I'll be showing you. Now, with the five videos that I'll be doing with this keyboard, the first one I'll be doing a tutorial of this keyboard, and then the next 2 videos I'll be showing you the sounds on this keyboard. And then the last 2 videos, I'll be showing you the 100 rhythm styles that are on this keyboard. I don't need to show the demonstration songs because I've done that on a video over 8 years ago. So first of all, with this video of the Yamaha DJX/PSR-D1, I'll be going through with you a tutorial of this keyboard so you can better get to know how to use the keyboard if you're thinking of getting one yourself. So here is the tutorial of this keyboard. Thank you very much for watching and hope you enjoy. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you on this tutorial of the Yamaha DJX keyboard, and that is the part control, and also at the same time I want to show these control knobs here. Well, with the part control, we have different parts here for the keys. So this row we have the part select, but at the very bottom key we have the beat reverse, which I will show you as well. And in this row of keys we have the part on off, so we can turn parts of the rhythm styles on and off. And here we have the pattern section, in which we can control the chords of the rhythm styles. And the rest of the keys on top here we have the performance, which is your sounds. So we're going to start by turning on the parts control button. There we go. Hopefully you can see on the screen here that when the part control is turned on, now I'm going to turn it off if I can. This is a bit stiff, this button, so it's turned off. Okay, now it's turned on. And then with the part controller here, we have the part select, part on off, pattern and performance. So here is the pattern here where we control the chords. Oh, got to turn on the pattern control. There we go. One moment. There we go. So this area, you control the chords. And up here's your performance. So there's the pattern where you control the chords, and the performance where you can play the sounds. And now I want to show you the part on off, where you can turn parts of a style on and off. But if you want to put it all back to default, you just turn off the part control and then back on again. Just like that. So that's the part on off. And now I'm going to show you the part select, in which we can select parts for the control knobs. So with the control knobs we have here, we have cut off, resonance, groove, assign, which I will show you the knob assign features in a moment. And then we have the bass boost. I can show you the bass boost now, which pumps up the bass. And now with the part select, so for this instance, what should I do? I will select... Okay, I will select phrase 2, so I'm going to part select phrase 2, and hopefully you can see on the screen, but these keys change on the screen depending on which part you're selecting. So we're going to select phrase 2, and then we can use these like resonance and cutoff for that phrase only. So yeah, and then we have the groove and assign, which is at the moment assigned to dynamics. So here's the groove. And then we have the dynamics assign. So that's the groove and assign control knobs, which is assigned to dynamics. We go to knob assign here, and we can change it to all sorts of. We can change it to. We can assign it to 12 different things. So here's the next one. We're going to assign it as turntable. And then we can assign it to strength, which I think... So the strength is basically the volume. The volume for the rhythm, that is, not the sounds. And then we have, yeah, we've already selected dynamics, volume. Oh yes, with the volume will only be altered with the parts that I select. So for this instance, I have selected phrase 2, so that will... But if I want to select a different part, so for example, I'm going to select the kick sound, this one here. And now I'm going to select, let's do hi-hat, for instance. And also, as well as the part control, where you can use the control knobs here and turning parts on and off, and selecting parts for changing the volume and doing the resonance and cutoff and so on. You also have the ribbon controller here, which does almost the same thing as the assign knob here. So I'll show that to you. So that's a pretty cool feature there. And as well as the assign knob here, we can also assign things for the ribbon controller. So, but this time, just like unlike the knob assign, you can only have 12 different assign functions, but on the ribbon controller, you can have 15 assignable features. So I'll show some of those to you. So we have the turntable. We also have the strength of the volume as well. And we also have the groove and dynamics as well, just like the groove knob here and the assign knob here as well. So I'll show that to you right now. So first of all, we'll show the groove. And now I'll show the dynamics. And the volume for each part, depending on which part you selected. And the pan pot. And there are many more assignable things that you can do with the ribbon controller and assignable knob here, which I will show you in more depth later on in this video. So let's just do a couple more. So we have release. And then we have attack. And if I remember, I think it also applies to the sounds. I know that not all assignable things are selectable with the sounds as well. Now, most of them are assigned for the rhythm styles. But turntable also affects the sounds. And then we have a assignable feature called arpeggiator speed. So I'll just turn on the arpeggiator. I will show the arpeggiator feature later on in this video. But here's the arpeggiator. And with the arpeggiator speed, we can actually make the arpeggiator slow or fast. But you can, oh sorry, I selected the knob assign. I was supposed to do the ribbon controller. So let's just go back. Arpeggiator speed, that's it. So there you go. That is the part control, in which we can select parts here for the resonance. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Down the bottom here, we have the beat reverse, which resets the rhythm. So I'll show that to you quickly. You can like tap it repeatedly to get some sort of beat. And that just keeps on resetting the rhythm. So there you go. That is the part control, where we can use the beat reverse to reset the rhythm. The part select, in which we can select parts to control these knobs here for resonance and cutoff, groove, dynamics, etc. And also the bass boost to pump up the bass of the rhythm. And then we have the part on off to turn parts on and off. The pattern section to control the chords, and the performance to play the sounds. So that's the part control, the control knobs, and the ribbon controller features. Okay, so the next thing that I want to show you is here the overall functions. So with the overall functions, we have here the BPM, which is the tempo. We have the transposer, the tuning, the pattern and song volume, ribbon controller assign, and knob assign, which I showed previously. But I will go through the ribbon controller assign and knob assign in more depth later on in this video. So first of all, I just want to go through these other overall functions. So the tempo. And then you press these two buttons simultaneously to get the default tempo of the style. Each rhythm style on this keyboard has a default tempo. And then we have the transposer, in which we can transpose the keyboard. Oops. There we go. And then we have the tuning. Just press those two simultaneously to get the default tuning. And then we have the pattern slash song volume. At the moment we are on pattern, so the pattern, the style will be altered with the volume. And then we have the ribbon controller assign and knob assign, which I will show you more better later on in this video. So there you go, and that is the overall functions, with the exception of the ribbon controller and knob assign, because I will be showing that later on. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you is the functions here. So what we do, we press the function button, and it gives us all sorts of different functions here, which I will go through. So first of all, with the functions, we have the M volume, which stands for main volume, which is basically the volume of the main voice. So that's the main voice volume, and we have like 1 second. Ah, there we go. The main voice octave, so we can change the octave. And then we have the main voice pan pot. So what if the pan pot is up to 67 rather, then you'll only hear the sound coming from the right speaker. But if you put it down to -7, you'll hear the sound from the left speaker. And then we have the main voice reverb level, so you can change the depth of the reverb. So if it's down to 0, you'll get no reverb. But if you put it to 127, you get the full-on depth of the reverb. And then we have the main voice chorus level. So that's the main voice chorus, and then we have the main voice DSP level. So I'm not sure if the main voice has been assigned to a DSP effect, but I'll go through that later on. So there's the, and now we have the dual voice volume, because this keyboard has dual voice in which you can play 2 sounds at the same time. So let me just go through the functions. So there's the dual voice volume, dual voice octave, pan, reverb, chorus, and DSP. The same thing as the main voice, but with the dual voice. There's the D voice, in which you can change the voices for that dual sound. Then we have the dual voice, which you can turn it on or off. We can turn on and off the dual voice this way. And also there's a dual voice button as well, in which we can turn on and off. So the dual voice is turned on at the moment. We go back to the function, and we can do exactly the same thing as the main voice. So we have the dual voice volume. The dual voice octave. The dual voice pan pot. The dual voice reverb level. The dual voice chorus level. That's it. The dual voice DSP level. And then we have the dual voice, in which we can change the voices. So that's the dual voice features. And then we have the split volume, because this keyboard also has split voice, in which you can have one sound on the left hand side of the keyboard. Now, because there isn't a split voice button, so in order to have the split voice turned on, we just go to split, and then we're going to turn it on. So now we've got something on the now we've got a voice on the left hand side. So let's just go back to these split functions. There we go, we can choose a split voice volume. The split voice octave. The split voice pan pot. The split voice reverb level. the split voice chorus level. And then we have the split voice DSP level. The split voice, in which we can change the split voice. So that's the split voice function, and then we have the split point, in which we can split point in which we can change the split point of the split voice, so we can have it even more higher onto the keyboard. So now we've got the split voice all the way up. We just put the split foot point back to defaults. There we go. So that's the main voice, dual voice, and split voice functions. And then we're going to go through some other functions. We're going to go through where this is reverb, where we can change the reverb types, or you can turn it on and off. But there's also a reverb button in which we can turn the reverb on and off. So I'm just going to turn that back on. And here's a function in which we can change the reverb type. So there are 8 different reverb types. And then we have chorus, in which we can turn on and off. And change the chorus type. If I remember, I think there's 4 chorus types. There's like chorus 1 and 2 and flanger 1 and 2. And then we have DSP, in which we can turn the DSP on and off. At the moment, the DSP is currently off, so we're going to turn that on. And then we're going to change the DSP type. There are altogether 33 different DSP types. But it doesn't seem to be showing, so let's see here. What am I doing wrong here? DSP. It's turned on. Just checking if it's assignable with another voice. Let's just select another sound. Let's just select a drum sound. So go back to the DSP. Turn it on. The DSP type. Doesn't seem to be... that's weird. I wonder if it's only for the rhythms. Just trying to find a... Oh, there we go. I'm guessing that the DSP only... Well, actually, no. They go to part control, and I'm going to select... I wonder if this will be... I wonder if this will work. Select main voice. There we go. Oh, no, sorry. Let's try that again. Main voice. Sorry. I'm guessing that it only affects the rhythms. Oh, never mind. I thought that it would affect the sounds. Let's just turn that off again. My bad. I'd have thought that it would affect the sounds. Well, maybe it does, but there's just something I'm not doing right for some reason. But yeah, that's where you can change the DSP effects. And then we have the arpeggiator. We'll turn on the arpeggiator. There's also an arpeggiator button in which we can turn on and off. And then we have... And here's the function to change arpeggiator types. Let's just do a normal voice. And just turn on the arpeggiator again. So there's the arpeggiator types, in which there are 16 arpeggiators in total. Let's go to some more functions. We have user bank, in which, let's see, user bank one, because I will show you this later on in this video. The user bank is the performance setup here, which is basically your registration memories. So we can select user banks. Each bank has four performance setups, then, which I will show you later on. And then we have the pattern split point, which alters the split point of the styles. So we can change that, say middle C. So to turn it on. Yep. Let's just get out the function. So yeah, that's the pattern split point. I'm going to put that back to default. And then we have the user song clear. Like if you've recorded some songs already and you want to clear it, you just select yes or no. If you want to, there, see, there's no song because I haven't recorded anything. And then the next function is user song 2, user song 3. So there are 3 user songs for you to record, which I will show you later on in this video. And then we have the foot switch, which you can also assign functions on the foot switch, in which I will show that to you later. And then we have voice set on and off. And then we have the touch sensitivity level. So we have it on 1 being the softest and 3 being the hardest. But unfortunately on this keyboard, you can't turn off the touch sensitivity. And then we have the pitch bend range, in which we can change the range of the pitch bend. So that's the pitch bend range function. And in the last few functions, we have the remote channel, the keyboard out, pattern out, local. All these are just MIDI functions. Like if you MIDI something onto this keyboard, you can change the functions with these MIDIs. So there you go. That is the functions, with all the different functions, with the main voice, dual voice, split voice, the split point with the split voice and pattern, and other assignable things within these functions. So the reverb, chorus and DSP type, arpeggiator type. So there you go. And that is the functions. And now there's something that I want to really quickly show you. And that's here, the style control buttons here. Unlike most keyboards, some of these buttons here have like, well, most buttons or nearly all buttons have like different sort of names. So here we have the pattern control, which is basically accompaniment on and off. So we'd press that, and then there's the accompaniment, and there's sync start, and lead in / lead out is actually intro and ending. So here's the intro and ending. This is the intro. And there's the ending. So lead in / lead out is intro and ending. And now we have beat A and beat B, which is actually variation A and variation B. And then down here we have, it says breakout. Now breakout is basically your fill-ins. Now on this keyboard you have 4 fill-ins per style. So I'll quickly show that to you. So here's beat A, or variation A. And now beat B, or variation B. So that's beat A and beat B, or variation A and B. See, on this keyboard it has a, I don't know why it's called beat A, beat B, when it's actually variation A and variation B. But I guess this is a dance keyboard, so it will say things like beat A, beat B, something sort of like dance related. And now with the breakout, which also sounds like something of a dance music, is basically your fill-ins. Now to get all fill-ins, you have 4 fill-ins altogether per style on this keyboard. So here, I'll show that to you quickly. So here's fill-in A to variation A. And now it's fill-in A to variation B. Oh. And now fill-in B to beat B, or variation B. And finally, fill-in B to beat A. So I'll do that again quickly, so that you know, and then I won't talk so you can hear the difference. So all the fill-ins sounds different with beat A and beat B, and when you go to beat B to beat A, or beat A to beat B, there's altogether 4 fill-ins. And that is the style controls. And now I want to show you the DSP effects. Now I know I showed like the DSP effects with the functions, but I think I've done something wrong, because the DSP effects wasn't playing when I was playing the sounds. It was only playing on the styles. But now I figured it out. So I just go to any sound will do. So let's just take this one for instance. We go to function. Here's the, so hopefully you can see the screen. And then we select, keep pressing function until we get main voice DSP level. As you can see, hopefully on the screen, it says 0. So DSP you won't be able to hear the DSP, even if the DSP is turned on. So we're going to put that right up to 127 maximum. And then from the we just keep going through the functions until we get the DSP. So DSP is currently off, we'll just turn that on. And then press the function again to get the DSP types. And now we can hear the DSP effects. Let's just do some... There you go, you can hear a wah effect. echo or cross delay. Distortion. Yeah, distortion hard and soft. Or off. So there's altogether 33 DSP types in this keyboard. Let's just do another sound. Let's take something like a drum loop or something. So I'm just going to select a, just like that one. That'll do. We'll just go back to the functions and make sure the DSP level of the main voice. Yeah, let's just put that back. There we go, 127. The same thing applies to the dual voice and split voice as well. Make sure DSP is turned on. Oh, there we go. And now we can hear the DSPs. So there you go, and that is the DSP effects. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you, and now I want to show you in more depth of the assignable knob and the ribbon control assign as well. So I will show that to you. So with the, we're going to show the knob assign first, and there are altogether 12 different assignable features functions that you can do. So there's reverb level, chorus level, DSP level, modulation, attack, release, pan pot, volume, dynamics, strength, turntable, and arpeggiator speed. So first of all, we're going to do the reverb level. So that's the reverb level assign. And then we have the chorus level. And then we have the DSP level. And we have modulation. We have the attack rate. We have the release rate. It's almost like the equivalent if you was holding down a foot pedal with your foot. So that's the release. And then we have the pan pot. So if the assign knob is all the way to the left, you'll only hear the sound coming from the left speaker. But if you have the assign to all the way to the right, the sound you'll hear the sound on the left speaker. But if you put it onto center, then you'll hear them on both speakers. And then we have the volume. And then we have dynamics, which only applies to the rhythm styles. And also dynamics is the default assign for the assign knob. So if you press these two simultaneously, you have dynamics, because that's the default assign. And then we have strength, which is the strength of the part that you have selected using the part select on the style. Oh, no. Sorry, that's the strength of the entire style. Then we have turntable. And then finally, with the knob assign, we have arpeggiator speed. So we're going to turn on the arpeggiator. So that's all the assignable functions with the knob assign. And now I'm going to go through the ribbon control assign functions. So we go to ribbon controller assign, and the default is turntable. So we got all together with the ribbon controller assign, we have cutoff, resonance, reverb level, chorus level, DSP level, modulation, attack, release, pan, volume, groove, dynamics, strength, turntable, and arpeggiator speed. So there's actually 3 more assign functions with the ribbon controller than there are with the control knob assign. So here's the first one with the ribbon controller. There's the cutoff. And then we have resonance. And we have reverb level. Chorus level. And DSP level. Modulation. And we have attack. Release. And we have the pan pot. So if I press it on the left, the sound will come from the left speaker, and if I do it right, it'll be on the right speaker. And if I press it there, it'll be in the center, and if I let it go, the sound will be center. And we have volume. And we have groove, which only applies to the styles. And we have dynamics, which also applies to the styles only. And then we have strength, which also applies to the style. And then we have turntable. And finally, we have the arpeggiator speed. And then press these 2 simultaneously to get the default assign function for ribbon controller, which is the turntable. And there you go. That is the more depth of the ribbon controller and assign knob assign functions. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you, and that is the digital sampling. Now with the digital sampling, you can plug in a microphone, which is what I'm doing with this example, or there's a line-in output in which you can connect an external device such as a CD player or similar, and you can start recording samples. Now if I remember, I think on this keyboard you can have up to 6 seconds of sampling time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on my microphone. Testing. There we go. So that's the microphone that works. Also you can alter the microphone volume here, but you don't want it too loud because you don't want any feedback or anything. And then what we'll do is that we press digital sampling. And then, as you can, and if you can see, the record icon is flashing on the screen. So as soon as I press start stop, I can record myself talking and use it as a sample. And also, if you can see on the screen, you can also choose which keys you want the sample. So, for example, we're going to have, which is, I believe is C5. Yep, C5, and then we just press start, stop, and then we'll start talking. Hello. And now that should be hello, 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 hello. So that's one sample done. And now we're going to select. Oh yes, if you're in the middle of in a sample function and you press the key hello that you've assigned it to, it will say delete, and you can choose whether to delete it or not. For this example, I'm not going to delete it at the moment. And now we're going to select, say, C4, and we're going to sample something on that as well. So here we go. Digital sampling. And now that's recorded. Hello, 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 hello.
Digital sampling, digital sampling.
Digital sampling, digital sampling, digital sampling. So that's another sample done. And now we're going to select, say, digital sampling. Yes, because for that I selected middle C. Digital sampling. No, we don't want to delete. And then we're going to select this key this time. And I'm going to say something else, but I'm running out of sampling time, so I'm going to make this one quick. So here we go. DJX. And there we go. Digital sampling. DJX, DJX,
DJX,
DJX, DJX, DJX, DJX, DJX, DJX,
DJX, DJX.
And no, we won't delete it. So that's the digital sampling, in which you can record samples of yourself talking via the microphone, or record something out of a CD player or similar via the line-in output. The line-in output there. And now we're going to get out of sampling, and there we have sound 284 sampled, which is the sample voice. So I can play around with the 1 second, just going to put my microphone down, and now we can mess around with our samples.
Hello,
hello, hello, hello.
Digital sampling,
digital sampling, digital DJX, 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 DJX. DJ, 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 DJ. Digital, 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 hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Also with the digital sampling, we can change, I believe you can change the DSP effects. We go to function, and we're going to find the right function. That's it, main voice DSP level. We're going to turn that up. Digital sampling, digital sampling. We go to function and we're going to select the DSP. Make sure the DSP is turned on. Okay, now it's turned on.
Digital sampling, digital sampling, digital sampling. Hello, 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 hello.
There you go, it's currently on distortion, but we can change the DSP types with that as well. So we're going to have a delay.
Digital sampling. Hello, hello. DJX, DJX, DJX. Digital sampling. Hello, hello, hello. DJX.
To me, it's actually quite a fun feature to use, because you can do anything you want. Like if you don't want if you don't want that sample you've done anymore, you can delete it and make a new one. So the possibilities of the sampling is endless, even though sampling time is a maximum of 10 seconds. So there's the
digital sampling.
So there's the
Digital sampling
feature, and then let's just turn the DSP is just going to turn it off. Oh.
Digital.
So that's the
Digital sampling
feature. And in order to delete parts of a sample, we select the key that we assigned it to.
Hello.
And it's telling us whether we want to delete it or not. We just say yes. And that sample has been deleted.
Digital sampling, digital sampling, digital sampling, digital sampling. Digital sampling.
So we haven't got the hello anymore.
Digital sampling. Digital sampling. DJX. DJX. Digital.
So now
Digital sampling.
we will delete digital sampling. So all we got now is me saying DJX.
DJX. DJX. DJX. DJX.
So there you go. And that is the digital sampling feature, in which you can record samples with either a microphone or a device such as a CD player or similar. Okay, so now the next thing I want to show you, and that is the Arpeggiators. I've already showed them already with the assignable knobs and the ribbon controller, but I want to show the Arpeggiators in more depth. So we'll just go to function, and we just, there we go, Arpeggiator, and we can turn the we're gonna select a voice. We're gonna say, let's just, we'll choose that voice. Now every voice has a arpeggiator already assigned to it, so for each sound they have a arpeggiator assigned to it. We just go to function, and here we have the arpeggiator function. We can choose to turn the arpeggiators on and off either by going to the function and turning it on and off like that, or there's a arpeggiator button there in which we can turn it on and off. So we're going to turn it on, and we go to the function and go to arpeggiator type. There are altogether 16 arpeggiator types. I know nowadays with synthesizers there is a lot more arpeggiators, but this came out in 1998 and I believe was the first Yamaha home keyboard, not a synthesizer, a home keyboard, to have arpeggiators. I know that keyboards now with the PSR-E keyboards, like the PSR-E 403, 413, all the way to the 463 and the PSR-E W410, have over 100 arpeggiators. But this one has 16 arpeggiator types. So I'll go through the different arpeggiator types to you. So we have the Techno. Yep. Yeah, there's Techno A, Techno B, and we have Techno C, Techno D, we have the house. And we have syncopa. I don't know how that's pronounced. And we have bassline. And we have echo. And we have tech echo. We have sweep. Pulse. We have up. Down. And we have up, down, A. Up, down, B. And finally, with the arpeggiator types, we have random. So there you go, and that is the arpeggiator and the different arpeggiator types. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you is the foot switch assign, in which you can also assign different functions with a foot pedal. So I've got a foot pedal here, and then what we're going to do is that we're going to put the we're going to go to the functions. Just keep pressing function or the dial-up buttons here until we come up with the screen foot switch. There we go. The foot switch, we have 13 different assigns that we can add to it. We can have sustain, arpeggiator hold, start stop, lead in and out, which is the ending, beat A, beat B, arpeggiator, dual, split, reverb, chorus, DSP, and tap. So it's the default is tap, which is basically tap tempo. So you press the pedal with a sort of like a rhythm beat with your foot, and depending on how slow or fast you do it, it's either slow or fast. So here's slow. Note that I'm using my foot for this. So yeah, I'm using my foot, and now I'm going to do it even faster. So now I'm going to go through the different functions with the foot switch assign. So we got sustain. And we'll do another voice. So here's sustain. We go to the functions again, the foot switch, and this time we're going to do arpeggiator hold. So basically we just turn on the arpeggiator, and if we hold down the pedal, the arpeggiator will carry on playing even if you let go of the keys. And we have start stop, which is exactly the same as pressing the start stop button. We'll just put that to default tempo. So I'm starting and stopping the rhythm whilst using the pedal and not pressing the start stop button. Then we have lead in out, which is your intro and ending. So, and now I'm going to press it. So yeah, I did the intro, and now I'm going to press it again, the pedal that is, for the ending. So that's lead in out, and we have beat A. So it's the same as pressing beat A. And beat B, which is exactly as pressing this button. Then we have Arpeggiator. So again, you can turn on and off the arpeggiator using the pedal. Hopefully you can see it on the screen. And then we have dual voice, so we can turn the dual voice on and off this way as well. And then we have split voice, so we're gonna have a split voice. There we go. And turn it on. So that's the split assign. And then we have the reverb, so that we can turn the reverb on and off using the foot switch. So reverb is now on. And reverb is now off. And then we have chorus. And we have DSP. Oh, let's just turn DSP off 1 second. Go to the function and change the DSP with the main voice. So we're going to put that to 127. And then we're going to go and change see what DSP type there is. There we go. So that's the DSP foot assign. We'll just go back to the foot assign. The foot switch assign. And then finally we have the tap, which is like the tap tempo. Style with added DSP effect. So that's all of the foot switch assign functions. The default being tap. When you press these two, the default is tap. So there you go. And that is the foot switch assignable functions. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you, and that is the one-touch settings. Now each style has 2 one-touch settings, which will be here. So these there's A and B for the one-touch settings. Hopefully you can see it, but it says here A and B. And each style has 2 one-touch settings. So here we are.
Get up! Get up!
Let's go to another style, and that will have a different one-touch setting. So there you are, and that's the one-touch settings, and each of the 100 styles has 2 one-touch settings. Okay, so now the next thing that I want to show you, and that is the performance setup. Even though you have 2 preset one-touch settings for each style, but the performance setup, you have 4 buttons, but if you press record, on the screen you'll see PSU user, which is performance setup. And there are 4 users, each containing 4 performance setup buttons, giving you a total of 16 performance setups that you can install. So they're basically registration memories. So yeah, on other keyboards, they would be known as registration memories, but on the DJX, they are known as performance setup. So I will show that to you. So just do exactly the same way you would do a registration memory on a keyboard. Just select a style and a voice. So for this instance, I'm going to select a style. So we're going to say style number 5, hard step. And then I'm going to select a voice. I am going to select, let's say, do a drum beat or something. One sec, we'll just go, there we go. So, and we better turn your comp on. There we go. Let's just get out of there. Make sure it's turned on. Okay. And now we got our voice and our style. We just press record. And it says 1, PSU user, because we're on performance setup user 1. And then we're going to select a button to store it on. So we're going to do button number 1. And there you go, that's our registration or performance setup stored. Then we get out of the function. So there we go. And now we're going to do another one. So we're going to select a different style. We're going to select Samba. And we are actually going to use one of the preset one-touch settings on here. Oh, no, not that one. Let's just turn dual voice off at the moment. We're going to change that, actually. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, we're going to select that one as the main voice. And then we're going to go to the function this time. And we are going to have a dual voice as well. So we're going to go to the function and select the dual voice. We're going to have it at a volume of 80, and we are going to change the dual voice. So we're going to change it into a synth string sound. There we go. But we're actually going to put the octave up one. And there we go. Okay, so we're happy with that setting. So we're just going to press record, PSU user 1, and we're going to select button number 2. And now that's stored on button number 2. So we got user 1 and user 2. Okay, so now I'm going to do one more example, the performance setup. We're going to select another style. We're going to select, say, this one. And we're going to select a voice. But none of the one-touch settings is the sounds that I want, so I'm going to find another sound. I'm just going to find a... I'm just going to find a sort of a pan flute sort of sound. There you go, there's a sound known as ethnic, but that'll do. And maybe this time I want to change the DSP effect. So I'll do that. Go to function. We're going to select DSP. Here we're going to select the DSP type first. So maybe if we want to select, say, we're going to turn on DSP. And then we're going to select a DSP type. Let's say, I mean, anyone will do. At the moment, I think the DSP is turned down with the voice. So what I'm going to do is go to the main voice. There you go, main voice DSP level. As you can see, it's turned, hopefully you can see on the screen, but it's turned right down. So we're going to turn that up. Okay, so that's our DSP voice, DSP selected. And maybe we want to change the tempo of the style, have it a little bit faster. So, and once you're happy with the settings, we just press record. Make sure it's set to performance setup, user 1, 2, 3 or 4. And this time I'm going to select button number 3. And then we get out of the function. And that's our performance setup saved. So now we've got performance setup 1, 2 and 3, user 1. So there you go, and that is performance setup, in which you can save your registration memories, or performance setup as it's known as on this keyboard. And you have 4 different users, each containing 4 buttons. So altogether you will have 16 performance setups you can save in total. And that is the performance setup function. Okay, so now the last thing that I want to show you on this tutorial of the Yamaha DJX / PSR-D1 keyboard, and that is the song record. So on this keyboard you have 3 user songs in which you can record your own songs. So there's 3 built-in demo songs, and there's 3 user songs in which you can record your own songs. So I will show that to you. So first of all, we will select, well, I'm going to do 2 examples. I'm going to record a song completely from scratch, and then the next one I'm going to record using a backing style. So first of all, we just press record. Make sure you got the sound assigned that you want to choose, which I have so far. So we're going to turn off the chord because we don't want to record any accompaniment style yet. And from here you can select whether you want user 1, 2 or 3. For this instance I'm going to select user 1. And then you select your channel. There's 6 altogether, 5 for any melodies, and the 6th one is for the accompaniment style. And now the keyboard now waits for us to start playing. So here we go. So that's the first track done. And now we're going to record track number 2. But first of all, we're going to select a voice. And then once you're ready, you just press record. That's it. Make sure we don't want any accompaniment at the moment. And I've selected song memory channel 2. There we go. And now the keyboard waits for us to play. So that's another part recorded. We just get out of the record function. There we go. Okay, now we're going to select another sound and do another part. We're going to select a synth strings. Then we just press record. Make sure it's off a complement. I'm selecting track number 3 this time. And now the keyboard waits for us to start playing. So here we go. So that's another track recorded. We just get out of record function. So that's another track recorded. Okay, and now I'm going to do one more example of the song record. I'm going to select a voice. So, yes, that one will do. And we just press record, make sure it's off a complement, and we're going to select track 4 this time. And now the keyboard waits for us to play. And that's our song recorded. So we just get out of record function and then we can listen to our performance. Okay, so that's our song recorded completely from scratch done. And now we just, oh, there we go. But we don't want to record anything at the moment, so we just get out of there. And now we're going to record a song using an onboard style. Okay, so now this time I'm going to record another song, but this time using a backing style. And not recording a song completely from scratch using these tracks. Though there will be 1 or 2 tracks used, but that's it. But most of the backings will be from the style. So what I'm going to do this time for this example is that I'm actually going to load up one of my performance setups that I stored earlier on this video. So just select number 2. And there's my setting. Let's put variation A. So that's my performance setup that I stored earlier. And what I'm going to do, turn the dual off. And now I'm going to record a song. But this time I'm going to select use a song 2. And now the keyboard waits for us to play. So here we go. So that's our song recorded with user 2. So here are the results. So there you go, and that is how you record your own songs, either completely from scratch or using the onboard styles. Okay, so this is now the end of this tutorial of the Yamaha DJX/PSR-D1 keyboard. I do hope you have enjoyed this tutorial and that you have found it useful. So please do write back to me and tell me what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video, in which will be part 1 of the sounds.